Good afternoon, everybody. It's Nick at Optima PS. I hope you're all well. Thanks very much for coming back to my channel. It is greatly appreciated. And I will apologise. I've been away for a few weeks at the moment. Only away from the screen. I've not been away anywhere at all, actually. I've just, to be perfectly honest, I didn't have an awful lot to say. I only really come on when I think there's something I can share and some value I can bring to the table. And the last few weeks, there's not been much that's caught my attention. So today, that all changes. There are one or two things I wanted to run by you today. As the title suggests, I'm going to take a look at this, what I perceive to be the beginnings of an attack on Tether. Um, I couldn't tell you if that's 100% the truth yet, but it looks to me like that might be happening. But before I get into that, as I've said before, you know me that by now. I am a financial advisor, but I'm absolutely not your financial advisor. That means that anything I say or do today should not be taken as financial advice in any way or form, nor legal advice for that matter. It's just me sharing my opinion on the internet. I couldn't possibly begin to give you financial advice before I knew a little bit about you, and I don't know who you are, where you are in the world, so it's impossible to give any financial advice at all. So this is just me sharing an opinion on the internet. And from there, let's get into the video. So there's been a few things that have concerned me in the local press recently. So I just want to jump onto this first of all. Take a look at the markets, the way they're moving. So today we are the 19th of June. I'm on Asia time. It's about lunchtime where I am here right now. Bitcoin's down, what, 7 days down 2.94%. Ethereum's up marginally. Tether, we don't really care about it for this purpose. But if you take a look through, it's kind of it's been a sea of red for the last week or so, and now things are just beginning to turn around. I hope find a bottom. I couldn't guarantee you that. The fear and greed index up here is down at 52 now, which is neutral. So an awful lot of people have been turned away. And as I've said before, I tend to buy when people are fearful and sell when they're greedy. If it's a coin that I sell, I sometimes just hodl for the long run with some of them. You know, I'm an XRP merchant, and I've never sold XRP to this very day. So where we are with this, I just wanted to jump in because there's been some rather concerning things in the news just recently. I mean, interestingly, this morning I've seen that the SEC look to be dropping their case against Ethereum, which kind of annoys me that Ethereum have had such an easy ride all the way through. But as a participant in the greater crypto market, it's good news for all of us. I suspect that somebody's given the people there, Gary and his friends, a slap on the wrist and told them that either A, they spend far too money pursuing these things and they seem to get their ass kicked everywhere they go, or B, that they shouldn't be pursuing that particular alleyway, if you like, that particular project when it comes to Ethereum. I think whatever the reason is, they've been told not to do it, as opposed to Gary having a change of heart and deciding not to do it, which is good news for the greater industry. It means that most likely the tide is turning ever so slowly, but turning in the direction that's going to work well for us all. So that's good news. But yes, I've seen a few things in the news, and not just the crypto world news as well. So that have kind of brought a concern to my mind, if you like. So I'm going to start here just with an article. This one is from PR Newswire, which is really a research type article, but it's to do with Tether itself. So Consumers Research launches campaign to warn consumers about stablecoin Tether. So the reason I've gone to this one is it is a research piece. It's not necessarily a sensationalized tabloid. You know, it's not something that's specific in crypto either, though. So it's strange that this would pop up on the radar today. Here in the crypto-based news, FXS, could USDT depeg following recent accusations from Consumers Research? So a digital billboard accusing Tether of corruption was featured in Times Square. Historically, stablecoins often depeg following controversies surrounding respective parent companies. Tether recently launched a new synthetic dollar backed by gold. So what we're seeing is a number of things there to raise alarms, really. So we've always known that Tether isn't quite a stable coin. I know they're called a stable coin. They market themselves as a stable coin. A stable coin for me would be I'm a US dollar backed stable coin, which means I hold an equal number of US dollars as I do the coin, so that we never depeg from the dollar. Quite often, stable coins will branch out further than that and hold government bonds in USD, mainly US issued debt. which again works in exactly the same way because they're tied with the value of the dollar and it balances out so that we don't see the decoupling. Tether's a little bit different. Tether tends to hold other things underneath there. There's some Chinese corporate debt. There's some Bitcoin, it turns out. There's kind of a basket of things, let's say. You know, it's not just debt instruments, but a basket of holdings which are there to help peg to the USD. And they do buy and sell them to try and keep the value on track with the USD. And so far, they've got it right. But there's always been concerns about Tether. What I'm more concerned about rather than the actual setup at Tether is one, they've launched this new synthetic dollar backed by gold. I think that's a marketing point because they're going to have to switch out of Tether with the negatives that's coming. But two, it's things like this. So we've seen the consumers research report where this is talking about the fact that basically they're not 100% happy with the way it works. They've released this information to the public saying, be aware. But it's this one that really concerns me. This is the Mail Online. This is the Daily Mail from the UK. In my opinion, not my favourite publication, let's put it that way. But what's really concerning about this is this newspaper is only interested in selling tabloid newspapers to the general public. They very, very rarely branch out and talk about things like cryptocurrencies because their readers are an older population from a certain background in the UK, and I don't think it's something that sells a lot of their newspapers. For them to come out and write an article as scathing as this one is a little bit concerning because I think it means there's a lot more focus on Tether right now than I appreciated in the first place. So they say the next FTX crypto giant Tether's ties to terrorists trafficking to be exposed through campaign to take down the Ponzi scheme founded by former Disney child star. I mean, look at that. That they couldn't be more scathing in that headline, right? So the next FTX. First off, it's definitely not the next FTX. FTX was a fraud. We all appreciate that now. I don't think anyone is currently accusing Tether of being a fraud. But crypto giant Tether's ties to terrorists, trafficking to be exposed through a campaign. So terrorists and trafficking, again, this is something the general public, the SEC, the members of the Senate who are against crypto in general, throw crypto all the time. We're all aware, those of us who spend or pay any attention to the market, there's far more terrorist financing or trafficking financing or illegal financing that happens through fiat money than there will ever be via crypto. Crypto leads to, it leaves a trail. It would be the worst thing to use if you were a terrorist, if you were a trafficker, if you were a criminal of any kind. It's a terrible thing to do because I can literally go online today and see who buys and sells what and sends it where. We don't necessarily know who owns each wallet, but we could find out, or if the FBI could find out, the CIA could find out, MI6, anyone who had the resources and the inclination to find out could find out. So I just don't buy that. It's scaremongering. It's there to put fear into the minds of the general people who don't know. To be exposed through campaign to take down and again, they use the inverted commas to say Ponzi scheme, because if the paper called it a Ponzi scheme, they'd be open to be sued, but they put in the inverted commas, and that way it means that if anyone tries to sue them, they say, no, we were just quoting somebody else. We didn't say it was a Ponzi scheme. Now, we all know that's bullshit, but this is how they get away with it. This is how they've got away with mixing their truth for a long, long time. I say mixing, not fake news, not making it up. They show the side of the coin that they want to be seen. Let's put it that way. And then again, they throw away founded by former Disney child star. Why is that relevant to the article? They're throwing that in there to take away the credibility of the founder. That's all that's there for. So you go through and it says, Tether, the long-time US dollar-backed cryptocurrency, is being called out for connections to terrorists and human traffickers. The crypto company, which is one token per $1, so they do tout it as a stable coin as such, touts itself as a stable coin, but it says touts itself as a stable coin, as opposed to is a stable coin, that does not fluctuate in price, also making it a popular currency among bad actors. Why is it? Why is it a popular currency among bad actors? Because it touts itself as a stable coin. Ridiculous. Seeking traceless payments, can't do traceless payments, according to conservative non-profit consumers. So again, They've put a consumers research. They put this down. They then say it's all somebody else is saying it. Don't come and sue us. The damage is done here. What they've done, the language they've used, they can't be sued for, but the damage is done. There is an agenda here, and that's my big concern. This is one of a number of publications. This is the one I particularly don't like, so it's the one I've drawn attention to, but they're all doing a similar thing. There's a big narrative out there pointing fingers at Tether. They did do this with FTX as well. There's those that argue FTX would have been fine without all the negative press. I doubt it. But what's really concerning is if we go back here, we're looking at USDT Tether, 112,612,439,982 is the market cap right now. That's an awful lot bigger than FTX, than Terraform. That's a large amount of money. It's a large amount of money. The whole industry will see huge shockwaves if they manage to get what I think they're now pushing for, which is to attack stroke collapse Tether. I don't think it's going to happen yet, by the way. I think realistically, the powers that be do this on purpose. I'm not one of these tinfoil hat guys with a big conspiracy theory, but I do see patterns in how things work. I think the powers that be allow these things to be collapsed. I think they like the negativity. They like the fact that they can then go, everyone come flooding back to the US dollar. But they also want to do it in the most profitable way possible. So I think they're all aware now that crypto is here to stay. There is a chance, and only a chance, this is a outside chance in my opinion, that they'll allow this bull run to move forwards while they build a case. They'll get to the point where they think we're at the top. They'll sell their holdings. They'll then release all this. They'll crash the market. We'll have another FTX, and the world will find itself holding on for 5 years of terrible prices, bear markets, crypto winters, whatever you want to call it, before we see the upside. Now, for me personally, couldn't give a monkeys. I'm over the moon at that, actually, because I don't currently have as much crypto as I would like, and this will give me another winter season to buy as much as I possibly can. What it does mean is it may change my plan. I've been quite vocal about the fact that I intend to round trip this cycle. Again, I don't have as much as I want. I didn't intend to sell any, but maybe 10% at the top to give myself a bit of cash flow to ride through the next winter. I might now sell more. I might sell about 50%. I'll still keep in because I still have a belief that this may not happen. I still have a belief that it probably won't happen in actual fact. And I also have the belief that at some point there will be a switching of the flip, a flipping of the switch. Even it's a difficult phrase to get your tongue around that one. A switching of the flip, where a flipping of the switch, where suddenly the utility kicks in, and I can't believe they will do this when markets are at all-time highs. So I think there is an agenda of waiting for this bull cycle to move forward before the utility kicks in and all the big utility-based investments come into the sector, and I don't want to miss that boat. So I will keep at least half my holdings. Perfectly comfortable. I would have been comfortable with the whole amount as well. Perfectly comfortable that when this world tumbles down around me, I don't need the money. I don't need it anytime in the next 5 to 10 years. This is something that's a long-term plan for me. I've got other investments I can fall back on, other income I can use. It's something that I think now is a play on the markets. It's a trade. I see an opportunity where I might sell 50% off so that when they crash the markets all around me, I can buy back in at what I thought was the bottom. I started buying back into this market in June 22. I'd held up with, I didn't have an awful lot this cycle before, but I had some Bitcoin. I had a few other coins that I sort of bought, held through and sold almost at the peak. Actually, I got that quite right. Not my own market analysis, not my own chart analysis. I have my favorites that I listen to. I often give a shout out. These videos are on my Twitter platform, or X as it's now called. There's fundamentals I know about the markets, the trading, the analysis side. I've done courses and things like that. I'm conscious of. I just know other people are better than me, so I listen to these other people. And when they all predicted we were about the peak, I sold out, and I did very well compared to the amount I put in. It was only small fries to me, but my sort of market return was about 15x, which I was very happy with. And I now think I'll probably do that again with at least a sizable portion of my crypto bags because of this. Even this, I think somebody put it out on a post earlier today. This is an old tweet from from CZ at Binance, CZ as I would say my accent, but CZ as he's more commonly known. When the Titanic sinks, little floats near it get dragged down too, but the floats will eventually come back up if they are untethered. Now, it might just be a simple use of the English language. If something's tethered to a boat, it's tied to the boat, so you would obviously go down with the boat. He may have meant absolutely nothing by this phrase, or maybe there was a hidden meaning in this phrase. It's, it could be either or. I'm not going to say that's exactly what he was suggesting, is that Tether's going to be in trouble, but I do think it's a strange coincidence that he mentioned this a while back. Then again, the bloke's in prison now, so what does he know about the world and the way things are going to go? Good luck on your sentence there, mate. I have no problem with CZ at all. The end of the day, I think this is more about the powers that be trying to slow things down and hinder us. But I just wanted to draw your attention to that today, because I'm not sure myself whether this will be anything or not. So I'm not telling you now, move out of Tether, it's all going to go bust, sell your crypto, the world's going to die around us, we're going to have another 5-year crypto winter or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. It's not what I believe. I'm just saying there is suddenly a chance that this may happen. With articles like this, there is a narrative out there, there's an agenda out there. People may turn around and start to point fingers where they're not necessarily needed in order for their own personal gain. Their gain might be to slow markets, it might be to crash prices so they can get in at lower amounts, it might be to put everyone off buying crypto because secretly they want us all to go back to investing our money with the banks, as is or has been historically the plan, and they don't want us moving away from their own particular preferences and narratives and what's going to benefit them the best. I don't know the reason why, but for the first time ever, I've seen this and I thought, oh, that looks to me like a witch hunt, and I don't like witch hunts, so at least I don't like witch hunts to be happening without knowing about them. So in the same respect, I want to tell you guys about it too. So do with that information what you may. Go away and do a lot more research, come to your own decisions, but I wanted to bring this to the forecourt for you all to take a look at. In the meantime, that's going to be me. We're 17 minutes in, so I don't want to drag on all day long. Thank you very much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Guys, if you could be so kind as to like, subscribe, and share this video, that would be eternally grateful. Or I would show eternal gratitude from my side of things. I really would be grateful for that. It does work magic with the algorithms here at YouTube, and I've not been on for a couple of weeks, so I'm sure I've dropped down that pecking order when it comes to recommending my videos. So if you do like what I've got to say, please do like and subscribe. In the meantime, have a great week, guys. I'll stay in touch. Next time I see something that catches my eye, I'll be back to share some news. Thanks very much and have a great week ahead. Nick.